Peace and love. How's everybody feeling? Peace and love, peace and love. About to get started. We going over the ministry trust today, the 508c1a. Peace, peace, peace. Let me know where y'all tapped in and tuned in from. Let me know where you tapped in and tuned in from. We in Vegas right now. I'm going over some great information. We got Houston in the building, Atlanta in the building, Chicago in the building. We got Vegas in the building, Florida in the building. If you have a trust or you need someone who needs to know this information, send this to them right now, even if they're in bed. But it's Friday. Happy holiday. Happy holiday. We got LA in the building, Birmingham in the building, Los Angeles deep. We got Virginia in the building.
Recording in progress.
We got Oklahoma in the building, Arizona in the building, Virginia, LA, Birmingham, Cali, Florida, Chicago, Atlanta, Houston, North Carolina. Y'all, you are late with me tonight. Well, peace and love. We're going over the 508c1a Ministry Trust. We're going to go over Ministry Trust and unincorporated associations. And I just see gurus out here just slinging the shit that I gave them. I sit down, because there was this one female in particular, I'm not going to name names or nothing. Shout out to New Mexico and South Africa. I see her slanging my shit that I gave her because she was slanging the wrong packages and just getting people in some jams. I said, you can't do that because she's a good person, you know what I'm saying? But now she's hustling the game I gave her. No shout-outs, nothing. At least give me a shout-out. So I'm going to give it to y'all. Like, I brought it to the public first. The Forms 4029 and IRS Forms 4361. If you're in the ministry, you're operating as a ministry. And tonight, I'm going to show you how to start your ministry from zero to hero. Okay, I'm going to give you the game. If you don't catch it the first time, you're going to have to watch it a few times. Watch it until you get it. And how you're going to get this full replay is tapping into the school. How you're going to tap into my private community is calling the number at 702-200-4900. Again, just call 702-200-4900 say I want to be part of the private community, DK's private business circle. Or you can text Private Life at 702-200-4900. You can also text Private Life at 702-200-4900, but you can call it automated. They'll send you the links right away. All right? And then tickets will be going on sale sometime next week for the Las Vegas event, Memorial Day. It's going to be a 3-day weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be the biggest event I've ever done. You want to be part of it. The tickets are going to go on sale. I'm going to drop it in the school community first. DK's private business circle. All right? And that's how we maneuver, and that's how we're moving and grooving. It's your boy, DONKILAM. Let's go over some great information today. Now, as always, let me give you a disclaimer. I'm not a licensed attorney, tax expert. I do this for educational and informational purposes only, okay? And truthfully, you can go straight. Attorneys aren't going to teach you this because this is truthfully a part of the private sector, even though it is in the public sector with codes and statutes. The actual code and statute is going to be 26 USC 508. 26 USC 508. In there, you'll learn that this is a 508c1a, when you establish your ministry as a 508c1a trust, and let's before we even get into the trust, understand freedom of religion. That's Amendment 1, right? Part of your Constitution. So an attorney cannot tell me I cannot start a ministry. Who is the first people that teach you about God? Your creation story. It comes from your family. You have to take care of your family. So those are your private members. Whether you're taking care of the elderly in your family, whatever it may be, this is your ministry, okay? So to get started, anybody can get ordained. And you can get ordained online, and this is upheld by Supreme Court. This is where I actually learned about it, and I'm showing everybody an old one. I've been an actual ordained minister since 2017. Not through this website particularly, but through this website since 2019. All right, I actually went through the I had to learn. I went through the ministry for real, ministry training, but they do offer ministry training. But Universal Life Church, ulc.org, Universal Life Church, it popped up right now on themonastery.org, themonastery.org. It's the same thing, ulc.org, universallifechurch.org. And there you can get ordained automatically. They allow anybody to get ordained, and then they give you the information on how you can baptize your children, which is an important key because you can use baptismal certificates as identity in law. I can't make this up. You can use baptismal certificates. Say you want to get a passport. You can use baptismal certificates. This is United States Department of State, U.S. Department of State, right here, travel.state.gov, and it's telling you right here that they take baptismal certificates, okay, as a record for evidence as a passport. Right here, as you can see. Simple Google search. And then look, you can make your own affidavits of birth. Because I need everybody to understand the baptismal certificate is putting you under religious status. Which I want you to understand this, that the religious status, church versus state. A lot of people don't understand or comprehend that there was a real church versus the state. Okay? They're going to start asking questions. I'm going to kick you out. Because this is for my school members. I'm dropping game. I'm bringing it to the public live so y'all can get the game too. Take notes. You want this replay, you're going to go to the school. Again, call the number 702-200-4900. Say, I'm going to become part of the private community. Simple as that. Now, so they do have birth affidavits with the Department of State. So, back to what I was stating. Let me just turn these comments off. Turn them off. I'm not Google, not your daddy. You can ask them for free. You understand? I'm dropping game for free. Y'all still want to ask questions and bother me while I'm in my flow. I'm in my fucking flow because you're disorganized in your mind and you're not in your fucking flow because you hang around losers and watch porn all day. What's done in the dark comes out in the light. I know you're playing with yourself because you're playing with yourself out in the light. Now let me keep going. So you can use a baptismal certificate as proof of his identity with a birth affidavit when it comes to the Department of State. Okay? Sure. So first of all, I went over how to get ordained. Let me get back on the game. Okay? For you peasants, only a peasant would interrupt somebody or ask questions and beg. As king, only the king asks questions. If you're not doing nothing in your life, you only be asking questions anyways. You need to shut up and take notes. Why you joined the live for? To learn something? Okay then. You can ask questions all day on Google. So Universal Life Church. So now everybody's ordained. So now you can feel that it's legitimate, okay? They break down the marriage laws for each state. Wherever you're at, they're going to give you the information that you need. Help you perform weddings. Help you get and baptismal certificates. I got all this. I show it in the school, okay? I have all of this. I'm about to show y'all right now for the people that, in case y'all need to revisit. But you can just go into school and just type in ordained when you're in the school because it's like a search engine. And I posted all of my stuff. So boom, there's my certificate of ministry. official with a stamp and seal. There's a certificate of baptism. I got it all from the Universal Life Church. And all this is lawful and legal. You get the clergy passes, you get your card with your name on it. This is official, okay? Universal Life Church. You can get I've got my, the outfits, all of that. They got it all. Get your clergy gear. Get all of that, okay? Now, also in the school, if you're a Moor, I show people how to also get baptized as a Moor. So you can use your Moorish birth certificate, okay? Like here, Muslim baptismal certificate. And now you can go through this way. And but you can do this with any baptismal certificate, okay? Well, I just want y'all to see this is what's going on. This is the package they got going on. They used to sell it. They're not selling it no more. Well, some of my members got it. That's messed up, though. It was a nice little package, but you can get your own. Create your own ministry, create your own baptismal certificate. That's the best way. That's the best route to go, truthfully. You know, you're baptized under the family. You're a member of the family. You can prove that you're a member of the family now. I hope that makes sense for everybody. Now, just now that you're ordained and you got your ministries, you know, you feel like you're a real ordained minister. It's legal. You can put it on a public record, you know, the county recorder's office. Now is the time to create your 508c1a. This is a ministry trust. It's different than a 501c3, nonprofit tax exempt, because your freedom of speech is pretty much controlled with a 501c3. Okay? But you can create the 508c1a and operate as a 501c3. That's how I maneuver, because not all states really recognize you as a tax exempt entity, even though as soon as you set up your 508c1a, you're automatically tax exempt. Now, these also go into play with something called a private foundation. You can create a private foundation, which is a 509A status, and I'm not going to get deep into that today. But that is the private foundation. Now, when we're looking at the law, we can look at the law right here, 28 U.S.C. 508. It says new organizations must notify the secretary that they are applying for recognition of Section 501c3 status, except as provided in subsection C. So when we go, and then the exceptions are churches, interrated auxiliaries, conventions, or associations of churches. And then private foundations. Private foundations do not have to report. And this is since October 9th, 1969. Mandatory exceptions. So you do not have to report anything to the IRS. You do not have to report taxes. This is a tax-exempt entity. You do not have to file anything with the IRS. Now, what I need everybody to understand is the way that I'm showing everybody how to maneuver. These assets are no longer yours. So, boom, we put the house in the church. We give it up to the church, because you can understand that back in the day, that's what everybody used to do. You go on a crusade and fight for God. So you would give up your house, your car, all your belongings to the church. So this is what we're doing, even though it's a family organization. And I'm going to tell you, this is how all the elite operate. The Kennedys, they were sued before back in the 60s. Everything belonged to the family foundation, to the private ministry. Donald Trump, this is how he was given his legacy from his father, through the family ministry. Warren Buffett, this is how he maneuvers. Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Just look these things up. Private foundations. So, what I tell everybody, there's layers. Make your name the LLC. Create a holding company in one of the 5 charging order protection states, which is Alaska, Nevada, Wyoming, Delaware, or South Dakota. The holding company is going to be manager managed, because with LLCs, you got manager managed and you got member managed. Your name that's a business will be member managed, and then a single member will be the holding company in one of those 5 charging owner protection states. Now, the beneficiary owner of the holding company is going to be this 508c1a. So it's gonna acquire all your businesses. You give up all your businesses, you give it all up. The beneficial owner is now the trust. Now, when we hand this down, I hand down positions of this church, positions of this trust, because this trust will live in perpetuity, which means forever. So my kids get positions of the trust. They don't become the beneficiaries. The beneficiary is always going to be humanity, but the family will always be able to handle the positions. The beneficiaries can be the family, though. The family is truthfully the grantor, the trustee, and the beneficiary. And that's how we maneuver, because it's there to create and take care of the family. It's there to grow the family. It's there to grow the family assets. It's there to grow the family trust. It's there to multiply, and it's there to protect. And that's how we maneuver. When you make your name a business, everything is deductibles and tax credits. That's the only time we have to produce anything to the IRS. Now, I do want you to know that some states don't recognize this stuff, so you do have to create a 501c3, and in it, as I show the community, let me go. I just made a post today showing everybody how to do the 4361 in the school, right? So that's really why I'm making this video. So when you come here, I'm about to show you my documents. So with this right here, the Kingdom of Kilam I had created in Colorado, you just see the attachment. This nonprofit will be operating as a 508c1a. When you go to the top, you'll see that this is an actual nonprofit corporation that I created with the Secretary of State, but I just put the attachment. And then you'll always see that, you know, my registered agents are always businesses or trust. Incorporated is always a trust, usually, is how I maneuver. But this nonprofit will be operating as a 508c1a. And then it breaks down the code right there. That's the only attachment you have to put to your 501c3. And then if you're already operating as a nonprofit, you need to go ahead and place these under the 508c1a trust. The trust is now acquiring all your new businesses. You have given up ownership. The trust now is the controller of everything. There's no owner. It's owned enough to control everything. And that's how we're maneuvering. Now, we got the trust set up. We got our holding companies. If you got one, you can make your name a business. You're going to give up all the assets to this. Now, let's talk about it. And boom, 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 boom. There's a private foundation, 26 USC 509. That defines what a private foundation is. All right? And that's how you can maneuver in another tax-exempt method. Now, I want everybody to understand that the 508c1a is an unincorporated association. So instead of just using the code, you can just make an unincorporated association as well. And this is how we're maneuvering, and this is what I'm going over in detail in Las Vegas. So an unincorporated association is a group of people in common law jurisdictions. And I love that. Understand common law. Common law is the body of government that does not operate through codes and statutes. Instead, they have stare decisis, Supreme Court decisions. It's common law. Unincorporated associations, whatever you want your law to be, okay? Now, same way with the church. You're creating your own laws and bylaws. Enter and understand that. So you're not incorporating with the Secretary of State. You're not incorporating with the state. You're outside the scopes of the state. Therefore, you cannot be taxed. And you go in all these different jurisdictions, you will not be taxed. So when we go back to the unincorporated association, we can look it up and see that this is recognized globally. An unincorporated association is a group of people in common law jurisdictions such as the United Kingdom, Canada, and New Zealand who organize around a shared purpose without forming a corporation or similar legal entity. Unlike some civil systems where association gain legal personality upon registration, these groups lack such status and arise from contract rather than, as in the case of companies, administrative fiat. They are distinct from unincorporated partnerships because their members do not unite for profit. Easy to form with minimal formalities, unincorporated associations offer flexibility but no separate legal identity. And you also won't have FDIC insurance. But look these things up. Everybody's bank will allow you to open an unincorporated association. This is an unincorporated association trust. It arises from contract. Contract is a trust. That's all a trust is a contract. And this is how the government truly maneuvers. And a lot of people don't understand this aspect about the government. And it's really simple. Anybody can do this stuff. It's just private contracts. And I'm telling you, ChatGPT allows you to do this as well. Now, before I get into these tax forms, because this is how I'm going to end it, I want everybody to see. I've been dropping this game since right after COVID, when I started seeing these things. So I was doing a little study on the U.S. Custom and Border Protection, and you'll see that travel documentation for the members of the Amish communities. And what it says: U.S. citizen orders of the Old Order Amish and Old Order Mennonite communities may generally establish U.S. identity and citizenship with an approved Internal Revenue Service IRS Form 4029. This form may be obtained from the IRS directly. This form is located at the IRS. U.S. citizenship may also be established with birth certificate, consular report of birth abroad, U.S. certificate of naturalization, or U.S. certificate of citizenship. So they have some type of birth certificate or some type of affidavit of birth, and they use an IRS form 4029 to travel and not show identification. Now, boom, this is also from the U.S. Custom and Border site. What form do the Amish need to establish U.S. identity and citizenship? U.S. citizen members of the Amish may generally establish U.S. identity and citizenship with an approved IRS form 4029. IRS form 4029. U.S. citizenship may be established with the following: a birth certificate, a consular report of birth abroad, a certificate of naturalization, or a certificate of citizenship. And they create these documents themselves. They have their own type form of birth certificate. You can use a baptismal certificate. These forms can be used. And that's what I'm telling you. This is directly from the U.S. Custom and Border Protection. cpb.gov. And then you just keep searching. Crossing the U.S.-Canadian border. I'm seeing this. All they need is these tax forms. A signed copy of the IRS form 4029. Application for exemption from Social Security and Medicare taxes and waiver benefits. These IRS forms are used for forms of documentation to cross the border, which shows you that passports and IDs are just taxes. Now, so the 4029, I want everybody to understand, this is for the congregation. If you're a minister, use the form 4361. All right, and this is coming from the Social Security Administration Office. So there's a few forms you want to fill out. So the 4361, the application for exemption, this is for the ministers. You got ordained. This is for the ministers. And then, so what they're going to want to see is that you're part of a religious group that's before 1950 as well. So you just say you're an offshoot of whatever organization you believe in. So we're Moors, so we went with the Zodiac Constitution. I know there's a Moorish Constitution, but we're directly under the Zodiac Constitution. So we attach that. We do have our nonprofit opened up in the public, and then, let them know you're operating as a 508c1a as well. And then there's something that you also want to attach called a SSA 1458. This is certification of the religious group. And you just fill in the information. It's pretty self-explanatory, but the templates are right there in the school. That's why I'm showing you guys. It's really not just answer yes or no. And then the main thing is, has this religious group been in existence at all since December 31st, 1950? You want to put yes. And then they want to know which date is established. So this is why Freemasons fall under this. They were established before 1950. Jehovah's Witnesses, you want to be an offshoot of something that's already out there and be able to find their constitution or bylaws. Everybody has a board of directors. Everybody has, look up Jehovah's Witnesses board of directors. Look up Latter-day Saints board of directors. The Mormons board of directors. Everybody has their own type of trust. You want to get a hold of that trust. That's before 1950. Because that's the rules that they're under. And that's what you send to the IRS. It's that simple. And then I want y'all to see this. When you get these approved, that's all you need to cross the border. A lot of people don't really understand that everything is taxes. So I want everybody to see this. When it comes to the Amish community, they fill out the form 4029. All the old heads, all their leaders, they know which forms to file. And then when you go to the school, you go back to the school, it shows you where to send all of these things. So the IRS form 4361, the form 4029, these are all going to Philadelphia. Even the Social Security information that you're filling out with the Social Security office, that's going to Philadelphia. It's going to Pennsylvania. They have their own Social Security Administration religious exemption unit. And I fill all this out. I got it on file. I've been doing this since 2019, I want to say. And then I've been pushing the ministry trust heavy since 2020. So 6 years, going on 6 years, I've been teaching about the ministry trust. So it works. I got proven people that I work with that it works. But the unincorporated association is the route to go. It's unincorporated. So the only thing that makes this like a faith-based organization is you say it's religious or it's faith-based. With an unincorporated association, you could say a private club and maneuver the same way. Your family can also be a private club. But a PMA is a private ministry association or a private ministry association, private membership association. So you just have to be private members. You have to be voted in, or there has to be a process on how you become a member. It's the same thing with LLCs and all of that, except these are private. They're not incorporated with the state, so therefore we do not have to provide information. We do not have to volunteer information to the public. I hope this makes sense. To learn more, call 702-200-4900 and book a consult. We'll send you a link. My virtual assistant will send you a link and get you all the information that you need. Well, that's what I got for y'all today. I had to put this information out. Much peace and love.